what we're going to be doing for the next couple of weeks, or not the next couple of weeks, but this week. And I tried to stress to you guys that this DBQ is the most important thing that you're going to do in this class this year, hands down. I said it wasn't even close, right? I said it was a really far gap between everything that we've done up until this point and now. And the reason is because it has real-world applications. And the things that you guys learn about are directly applicable to life outside the classroom. Like when you go into math and you learn about, I don't know what, quadratic equations, right? It's kind of difficult to see how that actually relates to real-world events, like future jobs. I want to give you guys an example. I thought about this yesterday because the 6th grade is doing a DBQ as well. So I'm working with, outside of school, I work with other people helping them learn English. And one of the people that I work with, his name is Alvaro. Alvaro works for this huge construction company. It's a Spanish construction company based out of Spain, but they have offices all over the world. They have offices in New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, every capital throughout South America, and the central capital in South America is here in Bogota. So he was working here, but then the bigger company called him up and said, hey, we need you to move to Austria in Europe. We need you to move to Vienna. I said, okay, so he goes to Vienna. And the reason he had to move to Vienna is because the company in Vienna, which is part of his company, it's the European branch of his company, was losing a lot of money. Okay, so it was being poorly managed. And so he's coming in to try and help save the company. And just random guess. What do you guys think this company in Vienna, how much money they take in a year in terms of revenue? The kind of things they do, they build dams, they build roads, they build electricity plants. Yeah, well, how much money do you think? Many billions. No? You say no? She's right. $4 billion a year this company does in business, and that's just the European range. Okay? So Alvaro's come in, he's going to try and help save the company. And what's happening is they're losing more money than they're taking in. Right? So they don't have enough money to pay their bills. So they're going to the banks in Austria, and they're saying, look, the company's good, it's just been mismanaged, but we need some money to get us through the rest of the year. How much money do you think he's going to ask the banks for? Millions. Yes, millions. Give me a number. 500 million? 15 million? In between that. He's asking for $200 million. Okay. He's asking the banks to write a check for $200 million. Now you want to know what the real world applications of creating an argument are? In about 10 years, 15 years, you guys are going to be in this position, or a position similar to it, where you have to create an argument, and you need to convince people to do something that's very risky for them, or convince them that it's not very risky, like handing over $200 million. And your argument has to be sound, because they're going to analyze it. Right? And they're going to evaluate and see how strong your argument is, and if it's worth the $200 million. So basically, Alvaro is in the process right now of creating a $200 million argument. Okay? That's why this task of what we're doing is so applicable to your daily life. Does that make sense to you guys? Yes. Okay. Let's go over it together from what we were doing yesterday. I want to talk about the words and the vocabulary that is confusing. So get it out. I'm going to read through it, and you are too. Okay. Look, in order to fully understand this, you guys need to raise your hand anytime you come across a word you don't understand. Alright, I'm going to read it. You guys raise your hand, and I'll give you the definition of the word. We're going to start with the historical context. Okay? Historical context. By the 10th century, the church in Rome had come to dominate religious life in Northern and Western Europe. However, the Roman Catholic Church had not won universal approval. What does universal approval mean?
Approved by everyone.
Okay, there you go. Approved by everyone. It hadn't been approved by everyone. Over the centuries, rulers, scholars, and members of the clergy criticized church practices leading to a movement known as the Protestant Reformation.
What is
Clergy, that's like the kind of church government, like the cardinals and the bishops and the pope. Okay? Even though the church leaders, clergy, made several important reforms, the problem lingered. Lingered, remained, persisted, kind of slow to go away. Right? So the problem remained, lingered. Many forms of Protestantism were developing in Europe. Martin Luther had launched the Reformation in northern Germany, but reformers were at work in other countries. While Protestant churches won many followers, millions remained true to Catholicism. Okay? You guys know how to do the DBQ. We've done it before. Alright? This time we're going to take it to a little higher level in terms of what we're looking for from your arguments. I know, but I just told you, it's worth $200 million. Okay? Maybe not right now, but in a couple of years. Alright? If that's not motivation for you, I don't know what is. Huh? Okay. Let's look at the question real quick at the bottom, guys. Remember, pay attention to this. It is, how did the Protestant Reformation impact social and political life in Europe? Okay? It's not or. This is and. You have to talk about both the social life and the political life. So make sure you understand and recognize the difference between the two. Alright. Document number 1. Yeah.
You said that you were going to give us the information I said.
I have it. Remind me at the end of class. I'll go down and get it. Okay. Document 1A. Excerpt. What's an excerpt?
Like a piece,
Like to come from.
A piece of cake?
no, like a piece of taken out of something.
Yeah, so like a portion of a text taken from a larger body of a text. Excerpt from the 95 Theses, or the disputation. You all know what disputation means, huh? What does disputation mean? Guys, you need to raise your hand. You gotta understand where this is coming from if you're gonna understand what it's saying. Disputation, right? It's the debate of an idea. Okay? Disputation of Martin Luther on the power of the efficacy. Nicholas, what's efficacy mean?
Like,
Why didn't you raise your hand? All I'm asking is raise your hand if you don't understand the word. Efficacy, right? It's trying to produce some result. Okay? The efficacy of indulgences. How effective were the indulgences at producing a result? Okay? Were they good? What was the purpose of an indulgence?
Gave you salvation.
Having money.
Give you salvation.
Well, for that's.
So, did they give you salvation? If I went to the
But
Pope,
they give money to the church.
salvation. Okay. Alright. Alright. Looking at the actual document. Again, why does not the Pope, whose wealth is today greater than the riches of the richest, build just this one church